Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
My favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
There, everyone, and welcome to episode 114 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. We've got an amazing show, fingers crossed, lined up tonight with the amazing, the legend that he is, Mick Medew Ursula. And so I'm even introducing our special guest first in Mick and Ursula. But we also have, of course, we got Rossi down there in Sydney.
Hi,
and
Rossi.
we got Braggy in Adelaide. How are we all?
I'm good. I'm more worried about Rossi. He looks like he's pretty much knackered after 4 days of pocket watching.
Yes, we were wondering how you're going to be, Peter. You all right, mate?
Well, like I said, we bumped out of the metro, down the stairs this afternoon. We got in the car by about 3:30, drove home, unpacked the car, had something to eat. Now I'm sitting down in front of the podcast with a cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'm feeling more relaxed than ever.
It's all that healthy living that's allowing him to do all this. So without any further ado, we've got a new segment on the show. It's called the Rossi Report, which also might be called the Pocket Watch Wind-Up. I don't know. We're still tossing it around. So what's news, Rossi?
What's right twice a day?
That's right.
That's good. It's good. Very good. Yeah, we've had a big Pocket Watch week. Actually, they put a single out. They put a EP out last week. They released a video. It's tracking on 1,500 views in the last few days. Their streams are up around 3,000 plays on their record that came out on Friday. We put a record launch on Friday night, which was very well received and got a big crowd at Marrickville Bolo. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we spent 3 days at the Metro Theatre in Sydney just doing a private function playing in front of all these kids. And it has been an absolute circus, that one. We've had a very, very good time. Very, very good time. And all sorts of strange things have been popping up and coming out. And what I do know is that I'd forgotten what it sounded like to hear teenage girls screaming at a rock band.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
You know,
isn't that
happens.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
But isn't that so cool? And
very
Braggy
cool.
and I were talking before that the branding on Pocket Watch is just phenomenal, right down to it's the right font, it's the image, and the boys are just doing so well. You must be really proud of them, Rossi. You must be really proud.
They killed it at the Metro. They had all this top drawer A-list road crew working for them, and they all loved them because they were, nice, normal kids who were polite, respectful, thanking everybody, turning up on time and knowing what they were supposed to do. We did get got one of these today. Or yesterday when they went on stage, got one of these. This girl was screaming, holding her head like this. It was the funniest thing I've seen in ages. It really was. Like, I haven't seen it since that. Was it the National Hotel in Brisbane, Mick, when you guys came on for an encore with your shirts off?
Whoa.
It was the Capitol.
No, National. The last
National.
night.
The night started. That's the one. And you came back on with your encores with your shirts off, and the crowd. It was Beatlemania that night, I tell you.
It's too hard.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's all right.
Dave Rainey was saying that one show he took his shirt off and he said he got a really bad review.
David looked like a big bear, though, wouldn't he? He's pretty hairy.
Look, I don't think any of you have ever seen a band called Grindhouse, have you? They sometimes go in a pair of Speedos.
No.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, I'm going to change tack with a little bit of news, and I'm going to start with some cricket news. Braggy, Marnus Labuschagne's been dropped from the one-day cricket team. So what do we make of that? A Queenslander being dropped.
Well, that'd be better. He's replaced by a New South Welshman.
Two young kids, I think, or younger players coming into the team. So,
well, I didn't know about that, but I was more into the fact that Mitch Marsh had been made captain of the T20s after being on the outer for a long time.
Yeah.
That was my
Ring
cricket
spray.
news.
So Marnus is born in South Africa, though, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
so
really a Queenslander.
A lot of them have that affinity with Queensland, don't they?
Yeah, Kepler.
Kepler vessels.
Joe Bilky Peterson.
Oh, God, don't go there. Why are you
New
bringing up all these people tonight, Rossi?
Oh, he's in a mischievous mood. He's in amongst friends. So
What would Queensland bands have to write about if it wasn't for Queensland right-wing politicians?
Yeah, I know. Razor. Didn't we love him, Mick?
Razor? Yeah. That's San
Yes.
Francisco as well.
I've got the original
Task
single.
Force.
Task Force.
I knew you would.
What a great
I knew
song.
you would, Ursula. I knew you would.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then the only other bit of news is Agnes Blues Roots and Rock Festival have announced Vicar and Linda Bull as their headline act for next year, 2024. So
that's cool.
Have you put your hand up for Rail Motor, Braggy?
We haven't got an answer back yet, but normally the bands right down the bottom of the bill like us won't get the call up till a bit later.
Yeah. I do need to think about whether I can tell you my Vicar and Linda story. Which
okay,
but they're lovely girls, really nice and great singers, man.
Some of the best.
Great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No,
all right. Yeah. So let's congratulate Mick and Ursula on their recent album, which is very well respected.
Received.
Love is Calling. It's been all over the indie charts. People have been talking about it. And I understand that you may be back in the studio recording your next lot of songs. But before we do that, Ursula, I want to talk about ironing music.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So, because you were in ironing music, which was, what year are we talking about?
The 1920s? No, the 1980s. This is 2020s, the 1980s. So I moved back from Sydney in 83, and this couple were looking for a drummer, and I joined them as ironing, and I said, I've got this name of ironing music, and they liked it. And so then we started writing songs together, played a few gigs at the National, but we kept our shirts on. So supported Dorothy. That's our big claim to fame. We had ironing boards, put our synthesizers on ironing boards. But then they decided that the drumming, they wanted to go all new order and get rid of the drums. So we got a synthesizer. I've gone blank. Roland or a
drum machine.
TR-808 or a Lin drum computer or something similar.
And so then we started writing, and we put out an EP, 4-track EP in 1985, and did a film clip which cost $8,000.
I was going to ask about that.
A lot of money in those days.
And that was, it was a weekend of filming, and it was the editing cost the money at the Jumbuck Studios, and it holds up. So it was shown on Rock Arena and lots of local shows. And
you brought the swagger.
Yes. So then we broke up. Of course, the couple broke up, and fast forward to 2017, a guy from Florida, USA, sent me a message on YouTube and said, "Does anyone know these people?" And I said, "Yep, that's me." And he said, "I work for a record company called Medical Records LLC in Seattle, and I think we should reissue the EP." It was a 12-inch EP with 250 copies. So he went to his boss, and I said, "I've got a cassette of demos," and he said, "Send them over," and he made it into a full album.
Wow!
And that was released.
Wow,
that's so cool.
Yeah,
like you can see,
it was. I'd just been in Brisbane and Florida, and we'd have these chats, Florida, and then it was mastered in London, Cage Studios in London, and it was reissued as an album.
But the clip's very much of its time. The clip's very much of its time.
Yeah.
Like, it looks great when you watch it, right? Like,
Yeah.
8K is a lot. 8K 1983 is like stupid money to spend on a clip.
Well, you had to have a camera. You couldn't
Yeah,
do it
film
on a phone.
cameras. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they all did it for only really the editing that cost the money.
Yeah.
All the direction. We had hair and makeup as well.
Oh,
Everyone. They're all students. And,
bit of zhuzh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Any chance
And
of
Dave
a
Smith.
ironing of a reunion? Are the other two?
No.
Oh, no. Don't mention that.
The other two shan't be working together again.
That's right.
Now, you had a little pack that you sent to Suzanne on Rock Arena.
Oh, that's not me, is it? Suzanne Dowling, yes, Rock Arena. Sent her.
So what was in that little kit that you sent them?
That's right. Yes, I've got that. My mother taped it on a VHS when we were on the show. So I've got it on a VHS, and then I just put it up on YouTube very poorly. So we'd done there's a little toy iron, little plastic iron. It was in a big box. So it was the video cassette of the film clip. Oh my God, yes, we did that. We actually sent a video cassette of the film clip to everybody with a toy iron, like a cutout cardboard iron. I have got it somewhere. You should have told me. I could have brought it all. Cardboard iron, yeah, and photos and blurb. Yeah.
You're a marketing genius.
Phone Albany. Yes, yeah.
Well before
That's
your
great.
time.
And
That's great.
everything's here except the ironing board or something. So that's from the show that's on YouTube. Yeah.
But when you're working with Mick these days, you don't use an ironing board anymore.
No, someone. Two people have given me ironing keyboard stands. Yeah, but I want Brian. He's got a better one. These are the ones that you get your finger caught in the thing.
I know the ones.
Yeah,
I know them well.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah, I know them well.
All right. So, Ursula, what you heard before was the alarm, and that the alarm goes off every 10 or so minutes for Braggy to start his Who Am I? So otherwise we forget about it. So I've got to have the alarm on. So So it's now time for Braggy's Who Am I? Part 1.
Part 1. There's 3 parts.
Who is it?
Am I? That's it. That's the jingle. I feel like this one I should read in an English accent just by the first few lines. It seems like it's out of a Monty Python skit. I was born on the 18th of May, 1949 in Perryvale, Middlesex. I was the only child of Frank and Mildred, and the 3 of us lived in a small house in Wood End Gardens. My father was a pianist in Ted Heath's big band and worked as a building supplier, while my mother worked at a removals firm. I attended Drayton Manor Grammar School in Hanwell, and as a family, we spent our summer holidays in Exmouth. When I turned 7, my father paid for weekly piano lessons, and I paid him back by passing everything with a distinction.
What was the birthday again? What was the birthday?
You're not allowed to look it up on the internets.
18th of May,
No, I know who it
1949.
is.
Already? Okay.
No
Was it
way.
March?
Go.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Don't spoil it. Or will I keep going, or will I give the answer?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay.
No, it's Elton John, is it?
No,
Ah.
not Elton John.
Oh,
When I turned 7, my father paid for
Sorry.
weekly piano lessons, and I paid him back by passing everything with a distinction, although the teacher noted my lack of self-discipline when it came to practicing. I also took up the clarinet and learned to play the organ at the local church. During my time at Drayton Manor School, I played in my first band, a trad jazz outfit called The Clergyman. Our uniform was the school shirt, but put on the wrong way round. In 1963, age 14, I joined the Atlanta Blues Band, a local blues group that had secured, listen to this, a residency at a mental health rehabilitation club in Neasden. 2 years later, I passed my O-levels in English, maths, art and music and went on to study music, art and British Constitution at A-level. That's part 1. Imagine that for a first gig.
Yeah.
And you got another guess, Ursula? You were close with Elton John, but no cigar.
Well, it's not Elton John.
Still working there.
It's not Elton John.
yeah,
Urs.
it all stopped. Sorry.
So we've talked about ironing music, Mick Medew. Let's talk about Lifetime Achievement Awards and anything else you want to talk about. Rossi, do you want to
have a look at it? Let's have a look at
Oh,
it.
look at it. There it is.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't know if you can read it.
No, we
No.
didn't.
It says Queensland Music Awards 2015. Grant McLennan Lifetime Achievement Award presented to Mick Medew.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to say to whom it may concern.
Oh, it's well deserved.
Yeah, congratulations. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing Mick's. Yeah, like that for me. That was the most one of the. It was pretty exciting for Mick to achieve that, to earn that.
Yeah.
And for him to recognise Mick, because as we well know, and I've discussed it with you before, that Mick was known amongst us privately as the tenacious road beast because he worked hard. He really, really worked harder than, well, anyone except for his road crew, basically.
Hey, Mick, it must have been
He
fun
always
to.
says, God, we paid them enough.
I'm sorry, I'm not meant to laugh at that. I'm sorry.
I think they were serious, Rossi. So
I was going to say, Mick, and I think Curly was probably going to ask. I'm probably stealing his question, but it must have been fun to play with Mazawak again recently.
It was excellent. It was really good. Hey, Braggy. Yeah, Urs and I played, and we had a good show, and it was well attended, and
4 p.m.
About 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And who's the band in the middle?
Square Tugs.
Square Tugs. Yeah, they played, and
Yeah,
it's really good to see Chris again. He's in a good place, He's very happy. I haven't seen him so happy for a long time, actually. He's quite a happy person when we were first working together the first few years. And I think he's had a lot to deal with over the last few decades. You know, it hasn't been an easy life. I mean, been very successful for him at times, and at times very difficult. And he could tell he was very happy.
Yeah, he was.
And
It was the last night too of the tour.
Yeah, and it really showed in his playing too. He played really well. And Stuart and
Tony,
yeah, very really good. Must, you know, I don't know how long they had to like practice or rehearse, but they were right up to speed with everything. You know, it just sounded great.
You got up 2 songs?
Yeah, and I got up and played 2 songs at the end. Oh, gee, it couldn't have gone better, really. It was a brilliant afternoon, you know, really good. They fixed the place up, Vinnie's too. They've made it bigger now.
Yeah, and those videos that you have that are out there of you back on stage with Mazawak, and it just I'm just kicking myself that I missed the gig, because that would have just been awesome to have seen. I think it potentially would have brought a tear to my eye.
I found when I was watching the clips that, like, I'd seen the shows in Sydney and previously, but just when Mick came on stage and just his guitar sitting underneath Chris's, just took it to a whole new level for me. It took me back to about 1986 at the Roxy.
Yeah.
Stuart Wilson, Tony Bamback, bloody great. They're fantastic. Chris played great. Loved it, you know. It was really couldn't have gone much better. It was a great day, great afternoon. Yeah. Saw a lot of old friends there too. A lot of people that used to come and watch the Tribesmen. All the sort of Gold Coast gang were all there in force.
Yeah.
We're all asking about Peter.
Is he still alive?
In his footy shorts, he shares with us.
Where is that little bastard?
Little red Adidas shorts or a pair of tracky pants for the winter.
So Mick,
the Gold Coast was always good to the Tribesmen.
Yeah. You would have played places like the Playroom in Bombay Rock, no doubt. Yeah,
Bombay Rock.
Ian Hogg from Powderfinger, he mentioned, we're going to mention on one of the Facebook groups, the loudest band you've ever heard. And Ian Hogg said Screaming Tribesmen at Bombay Rock.
Mm.
I
Are you on the
remember
front of
that.
house then, Rossi?
No, Jeff Stewart was. Jeff Stewart
Oh.
was. But what we did do was we climbed over the PA stacks and under the and roped under the halls. We draped blacks over the front of the PA, and I wrote in white gaff on each PA stack Marshall. So we turned the PA into 2 Marshall cabinets. I remember doing it.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I think we may have been smoking pot at the time.
The patch
I
of
know.
Coolangatta, another one,
Oh,
Yeah.
mhm.
big one. And in those days, we used to go to Jupiter's after we played the playroom. Not so much to gamble, just because, have a drink. It was the only place open, so we
Yeah.
used to go there a lot afterwards. Yeah,
We used to stay
And,
across the
yeah.
road.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
What was that place called?
So
Do you remember?
it was great to see all the Broadwater.
Yeah.
It's near Broad Beach.
I
was
know.
it?
Poor
Look, it's
beach.
probably a
Beach
good
motoring.
thing for Peter,
It's the Broadbeach Motor Inn.
And of course,
Yeah.
all the pubs on that side of the
That's
border
it.
had no pokies then either
That's
That's
it.
on the
it.
Queensland
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
You call it curly.
I got to say, one of those patch shows I remember vividly
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
being one of the greatest tribesman moments of my life. But
Yeah.
for all different reasons, the band were great though too.
So Rossi was just talking about one of the patch shows being one of the greatest moments of his life, Mick.
Yes, I could imagine that. Yeah, it was a bit
Good answer.
magic, I think. I used to like
Huh?
playing it too.
Yeah.
Had something.
I do know because one of the things I did that night, if you recall me, because I put white gaff in front of everyone's wedges the other side of the audience side with your hotel room numbers on it.
I do remember this. Yeah.
And I think I put gaff because it was the last night of the year for us, and I covered Mick's stand one night there with pics from head to toe, and Mick was just standing there in between. So I'm just like throwing them out, like maybe it might have been like 80 or 90 pics. He's just throwing them away. And Jeff
Well,
Stewart
you got-
drove a truck full of girls back to the hotel.
Mm.
I love these stories.
Used to dress up the stage really well. It was really good. And you had the candles going at a lot of places. You couldn't do that anymore, hey?
No.
No way.
Nah, damn nanny state.
What else did you say? You put candles up. What else did you have on stage? Any other sort of like proppy things?
Stonehenge.
That was later.
And the logo.
Sorry, darling.
What we used to do was I'd build these things that go from the side of the stage to the wings, and we would put the cabinets behind it. We'd dress those, and you couldn't see any of the gear. The amp heads would be side stage, so all you'd see on the band stage was the band, the drum kit, and nothing else. So it used to look really good, didn't it, Mick?
Unreal. It was really good.
Yeah, yeah.
People appreciated it. You guys are
Yeah.
pioneers. We had a
that's one good thing. How cool is that? That you could just go. A lot of times even just because coming from North Queensland, we didn't get a lot of, the bigger bands. We got a lot of cover bands, but even the cover bands would dress up the stage. You'd have some guys hanging upside down playing the bass they'd put a bar up there, or they'd have different things on stage. It was really theatrical, even for a small band. That doesn't happen anymore.
The production values for a lot of those circuit bands was very high. There were some really, really good circuit bands up there, and those guys were really good players. I think, as an aside, not talking about good Queensland circuit bands, but I think Indecent Obsession were originally a Queensland circuit band.
Yes, they were. I saw Indecent Obsession at a Sunday session at the Cry in Townsville. And then I think 3 weeks later, it seemed that all of a sudden they were on Countdown. And
Melody and Molly found them.
What was that?
Obsession.
What was their song? Wave Goodbye or something?
All I remember is that they had the guitar. Ursula, have you ever played the guitar?
Guitar?
No.
Well, Have you seen our film clip, Evidently Boundary Street?
Light as I move my feet, I'm walking free on Boundary Street. I've gotta get down to my radio. I got particular places to go. I see the girls haven't had much sleep. They look so fine on Boundary Street. The punks moved out, the cops moved in. Shop for heroin. The valley moves to a different beat. It's not the same on Boundary Street. The new kids think they are better than me. Can't see how that could possibly be. The scent in the air is bittersweet.
We put it on the show the other couple of weeks ago.
I'm playing. Yes.
There you go. I forgot about that.
I think Indecent Obsession suffered from the same fate as the Ruttles did with Leggy Mountbatten, where he liked their trousers. Haven't you ever seen the Ruttles? It's a Monty Python sketch based on the Beatles, and they had a manager, Leggy Mountbatten, and he liked their trousers. You know,
honestly, you are so obscure at times. I have no idea.
It's got me, that one.
The Ruttles. It's Eric Idle. Eric Idle from Python. Look up the Ruttles. RUTLES. It's great. It's on YouTube everywhere.
All right.
Fantastic.
Let's do part 2 of the Who Am I Braggy.
Okay.
On that note.
When we left, this person had just got their O-levels. In 1966, I joined the Concords, playing dance and pop songs at local events with my cousin on saxophone and clarinet. I used the money earned for their gigs to buy a Hohner Pianette, my first electronic instrument. In 1968, I secured a place at the Royal College of Music in London, studying the piano, clarinet, orchestration, and modern music, with the intention of becoming a concert pianist. I joined the Royal College on a performance course before a change to the teacher's course, but quickly found out that, I joined the Royal College. This person's finally got into the Royal College of Music. I joined the Royal College on a performance course, but before a change to a teacher's course, but quickly found out that everyone else there was at least as good as me, and a lot of them much better. So I adopted a more relaxed attitude to my studies, spending much more time drinking in pubs and with the staff at the Musical Bargain Centre, a music shop in Ealing. My first booking as a session musician and my first time in a recording studio occurred when guitarist Chaz Cronk entered the shop one morning in need of an organist and bass and brass arranger for members of the Ike and Tina Turner band. During the session, I met producers Tony Visconti, Gus Dudgeon, and Denny Cordell. Cordell was impressed with my performance and offered me more session work for artists at Regal Zonophone Records, which I accepted and began skipping college in favor of session work. That's part 2. Anyone got any ideas?
Jimmy Page?
Nope. No. Not Elton John, not Jimmy Page. You were close with Elton John.
I may have seen his son play.
This person?
Maybe.
You think you know who it is, right, Rossi?
Maybe.
Intriguing.
When he said Tony Visconti, made me think of someone.
Well, wasn't Visconti Elton John's producer as well?
Right.
And Bowie's.
No.
Who's Bowie's producer?
Ursula is slowly zeroing in on this person.
All right. So, Mick, we need to know, what was your most favorite venue that you played in your peak?
In his peak or in his decline?
Sorry, in his tribesman
Oh.
peak. How's that?
Oh, gee.
No, he used to tell me about his. That's when I was in my decline, he'd say. What about the Marquee in London?
Oh, do you mean like venues in Australia?
No, anyway.
Yeah. And the reason I'm asking this is I saw the post on East Leagues Club today, and East Leagues Club's I've got so many fond memories of East and going to see you guys and other, Violent Femmes played there. I saw the Hunters play there. I saw Jason and the Scorchers play there.
Oh.
And I'm just thinking, do artists have a favorite venue that they love to play? So we love certain venue.
Look, I think I do. I think my favourite venue was the Tivoli in Sydney.
Yeah.
Across it was George Street. This was fairly early in the piece. We played there with the Flaming Groovies at one stage, Screaming Tribesmen.
Yeah.
Played there quite a few times, had our launch for Bones and Flowers there at the Tivoli, and I think we got to use David Bowie's PA.
Yes, we
Peter,
did.
that's right, isn't it? For that show.
They rang us.
So that was
they
good
rang us.
timing. Yeah, look, there's a lot of places that.
The Tivoli was.
Yeah.
The one. The Tivoli. I think I may have told you the story before that we're in the hotel room, the phone rings, and this guy says, "Hello, I'm representing David Bowie, and I believe you have your album launch on Tuesday, and David needs to do a press conference at the Tivoli on Wednesday. Would it be okay if David brought his PA system and equipment in the day before? We set it up for your show, and then we'll just set it for David after we all finished." And I've just got the phone and gone, "Guys, guess what?" And they've gone, "No, look, okay,
yeah,
sure." And it was insane. It was great.
It would have
treated us very well. Semi-trailer pulled up in George Street, Sydney.
Yeah, it's just amazing how
stairs.
Just every now and again those phone calls just change our life, don't they? So
yeah, we were at the top of the stairs with our fingers going, "Yes, just put that over there, put that there," and we like it like that. And they've just got these guys going everywhere. It's fantastic, fantastic, utterly brilliant.
Yeah,
and the band brained it. The band absolutely killed it that night. Because what was great about it was an old-fashioned nightclub with raised floors and booths, and it had a curtain. And they go, "Ladies and gentlemen, the headlining act," and there you were.
Wow,
too good. It's like an old-fashioned 1950s nightclub. It's unreal. Yeah, everything was just perfect.
Yeah.
Well, the venue that there you talk about where Pocket Watch played, that looked kind of really cool as well. That same old kind of style.
It's 100 meters. It's 100 meters up the road from where it used to be.
Wow.
It's 100 meters up the road, and it's the second biggest theatre in Sydney.
Wow.
The Metro Theatre. The Enmore is the big one.
Yeah.
Metro is the second biggest one, owned by the same people too.
Okay.
Wow. Blew our minds, I tell you.
Yeah. Like Adelaide, we had the Thebby, which is a cool old.
I know we've been the Thebby. We've played there.
You would have played the Thebby.
All
yeah.
right.
Mick played the Thebby with the Cult.
Tell us about the new stuff. What's happening? What's the timeline? And what is, we loved Love Is Calling. So what's next for Mick and Ursula?
Well, we're currently speeding towards the halfway mark with our second album. Good.
So it's a rock album.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, had a few songs left over from the Mesmerisers and even the Rumours. It sounded really good when I tried them with Ursula. So when we were playing with Chris Maswak, we wanted to do a real rock set.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I wonder how these songs are going to sound, I thought I'll leave the acoustic guitar at home, for this particular show, you know. And so yeah, and
separated the drums. So the drums are coming out of one.
we made some improvements to our live show.
act. So they're separating the drums with the keyboard.
You've
So
been
that's
teching
good.
yourselves. Been teching yourselves pretty significantly.
Yes, that's right.
We're what?
Been teching ourselves. Yeah, we have. It's true.
Yes, I know. I know how to use the loop machine. Woo!
Hey.
We're happy to be finished the album before the end of the year.
And
We hope.
also, as well as rock, I have written a song.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey. Is it a
And
love
you've heard
song?
of
Ernst?
K-pop. You've heard
A
of
K-pop?
K-pop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is grey pop.
I can't even
It's
see
a
grey hair, Ursula.
whole new audience.
It's very 1977.
It's a whole new audience.
yeah.
Yeah.
Postmenopausal women are going to dig it.
Awesome.
You
I
got your
can't
target market. That's
Market out
beautiful.
there. There's a market out there for grey-haired women with hard of hearing. And I'm there for you, women. I'm there for you.
That is great marketing ploy.
Oh, it is. It is.
I told you, Ursula's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
I was just saying, Mick and Ursula, how I like the way you guys are still thinking in an album. The last two shows, we've had a couple of young country girls on who just spit out one song at a time, you know, onto the interwebs. And I just love the fact that you still think an album, which is what I love. I love to listen to a bigger piece of art, if you like.
I was trying to tell my 35-year-old son how we actually consider how to put the songs in order on the album.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
You know,
Sequencing.
So we're just going to knock over the final part of Braggy's Who Am I?
Okay.
Okay.
When we left, this person was getting lots of session work. I became a full-time session musician, playing keyboards and arranging music for various artists between 15 and 18 times a week. My ability to produce what was needed in a short amount of time led to my nickname, One Take. Some of my early sessions became legendary, like playing Mellotron on David Bowie's Space Oddity, for which I was paid £9.
Billy Preston?
no, he's not English, is he?
No, he's not
No,
English.
he's not English.
He did live in England. He lived in England.
Yeah. Playing Mellotron on David Bowie's Space Odyssey, for which I was paid £9, and playing one bass note at the end of Marsha Hunt's Walk on Gilded Splinters, for which I was paid the same amount. I soon, however, became disillusioned with session work, despite being paid well, because I was not involved in the songwriting. My prominence rose, I love this bit, when I joined folk rock group The Strawbs in 1970. The group played a series of dates in Paris for a rock and roll circus, playing sets and then backing various circus acts. During one performance, I pushed Salvador Dali off stage when he made an unannounced appearance during one of my piano solos. I thought, silly old sod, coming on stage waving his stick. Meanwhile, my session work continued to grow, playing on 3 tracks for Elton John's Madman Across the Water, playing piano on Morning Has Broken for Cat Stevens' Teaser and the Firecat, and on several tracks for David Bowie's Hunky Dory. Then in July 1971, I was faced with the toughest decision of my life when on the same day I was asked in the morning to join Bowie's band, The Spiders from Mars, and in the afternoon receiving a call from Chris Squire to join progressive rock group Yes.
Yes.
I chose the latter and went on to record the seminal... Yes, Ursula, you got it. I chose the latter and went on to record seminal albums Fragile and Close to the Edge, a pioneer of the Moog synthesizer and known in general for my mastery of electronic instruments and as a defining figure in progressive rock. My name is Rick Wakeman, Curly.
So I will point out that Rick Wakeman's son played keyboards for Ozzy Osbourne when we saw him as Kenner Rock, Mick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That was Rick Wakeman's son playing keyboards for Ozzy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gee.
I didn't know he was in the Strawbs. That's one of my favourite songs, of course.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was such a classical trained guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's really good actually. Listen to his stuff on Bowie's stuff; it's great. It's
yeah, and I didn't know he played on all those famous records.
Yeah, it's not. Look, you'll find that there's probably like 50 blokes playing on 90% of the top 10 songs in the world.
Yeah, true. He's right.
We know that a lot of records that we know and love don't have the drummers on them that should have been that have got on the cover.
That's right.
Session guys cover for so many people.
I mean, yeah. You think of those guys from Toto; they played on half the records that came out in the 80s in America.
Well, yeah, Page and John Paul Jones.
Oh yeah,
everything in England.
Yeah,
yeah, like all those guys. Yeah, but,
yeah.
But Rick Wakeman, had his solo album, "Journey to the Center of the Earth."
That's the one. Yeah, I didn't mention that. It was such like his Wikipedia page. It's just freaking pages and pages long. After Yes,
yeah.
He played over here.
I knew the name.
Yeah, he played over here. He played at Bankstown Sports over the corner here, and was wearing like a cape, like the cape crazy stuff he does.
Yeah.
Wacky as.
So Rick Wakeman. So well done, Braggy. That was another good one. So, yeah, absolutely. So Mick and Ursula, the new album, hopefully by the end of the year. Is that the timeline?
Well, hoping to be finished recording by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So from then, after that, it'll be up to Barman.
Hey! Now, have we got a working title yet?
We do have a working title. In the Zone.
Oh.
Not what I was expecting.
Yes.
The title of one of the ones you'll like, Peter.
Well, it's got a little bit more rock in it, has it, Mick?
Oh yes.
Excellent.
You know that's my sweet spot, right?
The rocker from way back. Looking forward to it.
It's downright heavy.
Good.
Well, Brian has decided this time to wait till we record all the album before he starts fiddling with everything, because he wants to try and work out what the album's all about. Whereas last time he was doing song by song, and Brian Mann,
yeah, Brian's incredibly talented, isn't he?
I know. We'd be nothing without him. He's the fifth Beatle. No, the fifth Medew. The third Medew.
He's the third Medew.
I'm going to take a lot more responsibility for the guitars myself on this one, though.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. I'm going to play a lot more guitars myself.
Good.
And of course, Lois Andrews will be involved again. She'll be
the bassist,
playing some bass. Yeah, and doing a bit of singing with Brian and me at some.
I think he wants to wait till he hears the whole album first.
He was saying he with Lover's Calling, he kind of started a bit early with a lot of the stuff that he wanted to put on, and he had to sort of scrap it and start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we are going to be finished by the end of the year, we're going to try. We're going to
stop getting sick from grandchildren.
Yeah, we're going to turn up each week. We only have to turn up for 3 hours each week.
But it takes. I do it in one take.
Wouldn't you?
I do it in one take. I walk in and go blah 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 blah. Right, that's it.
So when Rick Wakeman. That's what I was going to say. When they said it was one take, I was going to say Ursula, but I didn't want to be rude to Mick. I didn't want to be rude to Mick. We used to call him 50 take Mick.
No, that would probably be better as perfectionist, Mick.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mick's records always sounded good.
Well, with the keyboard, you hit the keyboard, you can't be wrong, can you?
So, do we have many Mick and Ursula shows coming up?
We do. We're very excited.
We're having to
we've had a
turn
break.
them away.
We've had
Turn them back.
We've had a break for our standards. A break. The last show we did was with Chris Maswag on the 4th of June. Our next show is going to be at the Zoo in Fortitude Valley, and we're going to be opening for the Johnnies and Lafettes. And who's the other group? Do you remember?
Crosstown Collection.
Sorry, do you say?
Crosstown Collection.
Crosstown Collection. So yeah,
That's September 23rd.
Yeah, September the 23rd. It's a Saturday night.
And then
so we'll be running around in the valley, going home at midnight at night with 20-year-olds.
When they're all starting to come out for the night.
Yeah,
that's it.
Getting turned away.
Thousands of them.
I'll be getting turned away from bars because I haven't got my
yeah.
I had him on the car when I was taking Ruby to it. Darling, listen, we'll cut the others down the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ross Wilson produced that.
Did he? Oh, there you go.
Sounds great.
It does sound awesome. Yeah.
He did the first Skyhooks records too.
There you go.
Darling, yeah. But Mick's got an affinity with the Johnnies, hasn't he?
Yeah, good mates.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember once Mick and I were having a little bit of a break and we went down to Dapto. We're having our girlfriends and I went for a drive and both of us.
Hang on a sec.
That's a whole other story.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
So you took your girlfriends to Dapto. Such a romantic, Rossi.
We went down the south coast. We're down the south coast. We went to Jamboree, and then when we came back, the Johnnies were playing at Dapto League, so we went in and see the Johnnies. We walked in, and Spencer spotted Mick and said, "I want to see the singer from the Screaming Tribesmen out the back as soon as you can get there." When they came back, they were drinking already, didn't they? You remember that, Mick? When we went down to Dapto. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm very happy about playing with the Johnnies. It was bloody great. And on the 30th of September, the following Saturday night, we're playing at a place we haven't played before in Ipswich called Banshees. And we're playing there with some other friends of ours called the Double Happiness. It's Kristen Black's band. Kristen's announcer on 4ZZZ. She has the Heyday program on the Saturday night.
So it's a big comeback, 2 sets,
Yeah.
2 whole sets.
So
No, that's actually a tour. That
Yes,
qualifies
it
as a
is.
tour. It does. Yeah. As far as I'm
Yes,
concerned.
Absolutely.
So we're encouraging people to get their tickets for Banshees because I think, about 60 is a sellout. So, we just, if you can, get in and get your tickets quickly if you
Go
can.
west.
Yeah.
Go west.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we will certainly be pumping that out and letting people know, because it'd be great to see you guys playing live again. I'm going to start the wind up, guys. It's been fascinating talking with you in and out, as it has been during the course of the show, but we still had so much fun. I once again just thank you both for giving us the opportunity again to have a chat with you. We love both of what you're doing, and I think I've lost him again almost, but you both should be very, very proud of Love Is Calling, and of course Mick's previous bands and he's been in a couple, hasn't he, Rossi? We've got Screaming Tribesmen, we've got the Rumours, we've got the Mesmerizers.
There's the Bluebirds, which was another one, the short-lived Sydney band he was in. For a while there, Mick was going to put me on a tax return as a dependent.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
It's true though, too, I tell you.
You've been on fire tonight, Rossi.
I've been with Rod through all week.
Yeah.
No. The band's been coming on stage at 1 o'clock every day. 1 p.m. We're on.
Yeah.
God, what are you tired for?
All righty.
So
Mick, I was just saying you should be very, very proud of the career that you've had, the music that you've put out. Ursula and you are doing some great stuff now, and really looking forward to hearing the next album. So, Barman, once it's recorded, let's get it out there and let's give the people what we want. And it's a bit of a shift from, what did we call it? Synth country or country synth. And now we're into rock and roll again, which is fantastic. So once again, just thank you both for coming on the show. Guys. If you did enjoy the episode, please like and subscribe, leave a review. We're on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Check out our website, Unfiltered and Undiscovered. We've already added the Mick and Ursula music to our Unfiltered and Undiscovered playlist on Spotify, so make sure you check it out. Lyrics from the playlist this week comes from a wonderful cover by the band Ups and Downs. It's Comsat Angels. I can't stand up, I can't sit down, because a great big problem's got me in my tracks. I can't relax because I haven't done a thing, and I can't do a thing because I can't relax. That's it. Thanks, everyone. We will see you all again next week.
See you guys.
Bye.
The declaration of the intention, the stop extension into my airspace. I put the flags up, pull up the anchor, then you'll know you're in a different place. And I can't stand up, then I can't sit down, 'cause the great big problem stopped me in my tracks. Can't relax, 'cause I haven't done a thing, and I can't do a thing.